Hi everyone. Last time I showed you how I did my lineart digitally. So today I want to show you how I color it. For this I'm doing another of my One Piece postcard series. I named the Fishman Island postcard. And I already did the lineart. So today I just want to focus on the coloring process. And my process is really close to what I would do traditionally. It's like three main steps. First the base color, and then adding the shadows, and then the lights. For doing that on Procreate, I use a buildable brush. Basically, Procreates come with the standard set of brushes, and I think I tweaked the round brush one. So yeah, I changed the round brush on Procreate to allow me to do washes and have slight changes of color, as you will see. Since I started this project of the One Piece postcard, I had quite a few people asking me how did I choose my color palette. And to be honest, I think I don't really know what I'm doing, at least for the first ones, and I still try to have a cohesive palette all over the series, but yeah. For this specific one, for the Fishman Island, since I already did 7 other islands, I wanted a cohesive palette, so basically I color pick in my previous cards to do the next one. And for Fishman Island, I decided to reuse Skypiea palette because I wanted to hint the similarities of both the islands and the arcs, but I also find it a bit funny to use the same palette for a sky island and for a bottom of the sea island. Once I decided on a color scheme, I did what I call test palettes. Basically, it's the same idea as a thumbnail. It's a really quick draft of where the colors are going. And then once they are done with different iterations, I asked on my Instagram for which one the people preferred. And honestly, it kind of leaned towards the one that I myself prefer, so I think that's pretty nice. So if you want to help me choose the Wano color palette, make sure to follow me on Instagram because I'm gonna release it soon on my story, and it's only available for 24 hours because else I'm getting too many answers and it's confusing me. As you can see, I'm not using the lasso tool or an opaque brush. So to me, the base color step is very time consuming. At first, I wanted to quicken it with using the lasso tool or a brush more opaque, but I ended up not really liking it because I didn't have control over the washes of color, like I said. And it's something that I really like in my work because it feels a bit more traditional. Sure, it's time consuming, but it's a bit of a meditating process, I guess, for me. So I really like it. But yeah, it's time consuming. It takes me between 3 to 5 hours depending on the postcards and the amount of details I put in. And thankfully, the shadows and the light step only takes about 1 hour each. So yeah, if you do the sum up of the line art and the coloring process and the sketch and the thumbnail to decide composition, each postcard takes me around 9 to 12 hours. Art takes time. But I really like it, so I'm proud of them. And you can find them either on my coffee shop or on my Instagram. So I hope you enjoyed the time lapse of the base color step because I was not about editing 3.5 hours of this. And now it's finally time for shadows. Back then, I used to just put a multiply layer and do the shadows with like blue or purple, which could work, but I don't know, it didn't felt very natural, and it lacked some variety, I guess. So I decided to just do another normal layer and go in with darker colors of the existing ones I already had for the base. I've realized that I'm not using that much bright color. Like when you see the color wheel, you can check where your colors are, and mine are usually in the middle of it. Like I'm quite never going to the far right and up, like the diagonal. But yeah, I've realized that using desaturated colors make the little bit more saturated colors pop a lot more. So yeah, that's why I decided to not go that much into the very bright range. And as you can see, I'm color picking from the colors I already have to do the shadows. So that way I'm not introducing many new colors in the painting, I mean, in the digital painting. Also, I feel like what really helps me find a color palette or colors that go well together is the color of my line art. For all of the One Piece postcard, I add the same line art with the same brush, with the same, approximately the same size, but the color of the line art is always a brownish red, like almost like a burgundy red. And I've realized that I didn't had any changes of line art color. Sometimes when you see digital artists, they would use different, even in traditional artists, they would use different colors of line art within the same piece. And besides the burgundy line art, I'm also not starting from a white canvas. I have a sort of beige rosé type of background, and it really helps for the colors. I don't know how many of you were watching One Piece back when the Fishman Island arc just started. It was honestly such an amazing time. I feel like an elderly now that I say that, but the feeling of having the whole crew reuniting and finally see a bit more of their upgraded abilities was really nice. And my favorite thing in One Piece, I mean, one of my favorite thing is the environment and the islands and all the architecture, the culture, the fauna and flora, and also the diversity in the islands. And I really liked how Fishman Island is, it's like under the sea, but at the same time you can breathe because it's in a big bubble. And I find it quite interesting why it is in a bubble. I mean, I get it for tourists, that would be better because like the normal inhabitants of the island would be able to breathe underwater. So why making the island into a bubble? But yeah, I find it pretty nice. And the whole environment is very inspired by corals and shells, clams, and I just really love it. Like the colors are so soft, but at the same time they are like really bright. And yeah, it feels like you are almost outside the water when you are on Fishman Island, almost like there is like a real sun. but you're in the deepest of the sea. So in theory, you shouldn't have any light going there. So I really like how Oda designed this island, and also how he explained how they could have sunlight. And I think my favorite part of Fishman Island, it's either Ryugu Palace, because I really love architecture, and we are getting to my favorite part right now, which is the sea forest. And I don't know, there is something so peaceful about it. I didn't put that many fishes and creatures in there because most of my postcards don't have many living people in it, because it's more focused on the landscapes. But yeah, in the sea forest, there is a lot of fish and whales and a lot of creatures. It's just full of life, but it's so very quiet. And I feel like I would just love being there and just chill. Once I'm done with the shadows, it's time to do the lights. And it's a bit of the same process. I'm staying on the same layer, not doing anything with the multiply or anything. So just a normal layer, and this time I just go with the bright ones. I either use the round brush that I modified, or the airbrush if I want more of a halo type of light, or something that is glowy. And you will see a bit later that I do use the color dodge mode in Procreate. For me, it's really useful when you want to do rays of light, and I feel like it really gives a nice ambience in it. So I'll let you watch the video, and I'll get back when it's the color dodge time. So it's time for the color dodge, and that's the only time I'm using really bright color. I'm usually going with the orange because it gives a sort of a warm glow. And I'm still using the brush I modified because I can build up the opacity of it. And I feel like it really matches well for the rays of light to have a bit of diversity. And once I have my rays of light afterwards, I will erase where it's supposed to be in the shadows. Here I'm finishing the illustration with the bubbles and the idea of having the reflection on the bubbles. And of course I had to erase some of the line art to have that illusion. And I will also show you the difference between the base color and once we have the shadows and the lights adding on. Thank you for watching this video and see you next time. Bye! So we have the base color and ta-da!